Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here. For checking out the series, of course, you know what to do. If you like what you see, what you hear, hit that subscribe button. I put out 3 new interviews every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. I'm excited today. Jacob Bertrand is here. Season 6, the final season of Cobra Kai. Hello.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm great, man. It's been fun keeping up with you over the years, and especially with this first parts of 3 of the final season. And I've kind of laughed because I think you're on one of the longest goodbye publicity tours that I can remember.
Yeah, they're definitely stretching it out, especially with like the 3-part thing, having part one of a big premiere, part two, I don't know what they're gonna do. I imagine part three would also have some sort of crazy long premiere type thing.
It's funny, because I mean that's it. I think so many interviewers, hosts have asked, it's like, what's it like saying goodbye? And it's like you don't really, as you've mentioned, like you don't really have to yet because you
Yeah,
just
like
keep putting back in it.
yeah, it's like we started the high school graduation, but we still have like the senior Disney day. We still got to walk for graduate. Like we're saying goodbye, but it's like we just finished signing the yearbooks, is what it feels like.
And by the time that part 3 comes out, you'll be close to like the 10th anniversary or something like that of the first
Yeah,
season. So,
it'll be our 8th year anniversary by the time the part part three is out. Yeah.
yeah. So you get just enough of a vacation for that to roll around. That's what
Exactly. We have like 4 months to hang out, do something else, and it's like, oh, back to promos for the same show.
Oh man, it has been cool. And seriously, congrats on a hell of a run with this whole thing
Oh,
that
thank
you
you.
guys have been through. And I guess what your characters, been able to go through, Hawk, getting that redemption arc, season or two back, whenever that was. And I was thinking about that, like, if you stick around, it seems like if you stick around long enough in this series, you get to see both sides of the coin, right? You get to play a little
Yeah.
bit of bad, you get to play a little bit of good. What would have happened? I mean, would you have felt bad if you hadn't made it? Like, all right, you're done with season 3. You're always gonna be the asshole.
I would have been sad because, getting to win the All Valley in season four and have that redemption arc was really cool. I did love playing the asshole. I loved being the villain, sort of the kid villain of the show. And I do miss that. But yeah, it definitely would have been a bummer to just end on season three with a semi big cliffhanger and yeah, just kind of been known to be like, man, that guy sucked. He came around at the end, but he sucks for the whole time. That would have been a little bit of a bummer.
Did you know that you'd eventually get there? That your character would?
I knew it because of how season three ended, where I sort of go to the good side right at the very end.
Hmm.
When season four started, I wasn't sure how that was gonna pick up. If people were gonna be, cool with me, like, oh yeah, we came back to the good side, or they'd be like, no, this guy sucks. He murdered a lot of our friends, like he broke a lot of arms. We still hate you. And it landed somewhere in the middle, which I think is a good spot to be, for the writers. They came up with a good little way to make all that work.
Yeah. There was so much rage in him in those first 3. Like you were just like a fist. And no pun intended. You just like you
Tightly
were
balled fist.
just were like a fist. I don't know. Like when you got to turn around, and especially going into 4, 5, and 6 here, like is there a noticeable levity in how you play I mean, there's the obvious how you play the character, but even like internally inside you.
Yeah. I think those, when I first broke the role, I only knew about Eli. I had no idea that there was a Hawk. And it wasn't until I got on set and they started telling me about this stuff that, Eli has this huge transformation. He turns into Hawk. And how they were describing it to me is like you pushed in so much and compressed this guy so much. And finally, he's able to break out and be free, and all of the anger, love, happiness, everything he was always pushing down is finally breaking out. And he is brought into this position of power now that he has this Mohawk. And that's how I think the first 3 seasons, that's what Hawk feels like, is just newfound rage, newfound happiness, newfound everything. And once he gets a handle on it more towards season 4, instead of almost being like a chihuahua that is just chomping at everything, trying to be a part of everything, he's now an older, relaxed chihuahua that is still has a lot of energy, but only gets up when he absolutely has to. It's a little
If
bit of a breath sigh of relief, I guess.
Yeah, I remember watching over the course of that and thinking like, it's TV, we suspend our belief or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
and, and I was like, because who does that? And then I was trying to think back, like in school, I was like, actually, wait, I sort of remember those guys that would
Yeah.
just be so, and then one day, like one of them came in a suit with a smile on his face. I'm like, what happened? He's like, I'm going to work for a bank part-time. I'm like, well, how does that work? That's like, but
Yeah.
I guess it does. It's like you can do that.
Yeah, I think everyone has moments in their lives that are super humbling. And specifically for Hawk, when he's this young pup kid, wide-eyed, just taking as much as he can. You lose people, you lose friendships, you realize that maybe the path that you're going down isn't necessarily what you want. And I think that totally happened for Hawk. He got his head shaved against his will. He got trapped by a bunch of people. He got attacked, if you will. Um, and I don't know. I think he came out on the other side of that attack a much, much better man.
Much better, man. That
Much
head
better man.
shaving scene, it's one of the more memorable moments I think in all of that.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah. But for a minute there, I don't know. I don't know if you mind though having the hawk or whatever, but it's at least a bit of an excuse not to for a second.
Yeah, yeah, right. You know what's funny is when I first got on the show, I didn't know about Hawk. I didn't know I had to get a mohawk. And, I loved my just normal white guy coif haircut, and I was very proud of it. And when I was told I had to get a mohawk, I just remember thinking, oh man, I love my hair. I don't want to dye my hair a color. That sounds horrible. And my dad pulled me aside and said, Jacob, I would die to be able to wear a mohawk at my job. That would be amazing. You have to do this. You have to. And I was like, okay. And in season 4, when they then sat me down and said, we're going to buzz your mohawk, I was so defensive. I said, absolutely not. That is who I am. That is my haircut. That is half of my personality is this mohawk. You will not be taking Hawk's mohawk away from him. So it is funny to me just thinking about 17-year-old Jacob not wanting to get a mohawk, and then, what is it, 21-year-old Jacob saying, I will die before this mohawk comes off.
But I mean, you've got to be careful about that too, because you look at like I'm thinking of like the lead singer of Twisted Sister from the 80s who got
Okay, yeah.
who got so iconic for his
The
hair
long
that
curls and yeah, yeah.
even now, he's in his at least his 60s, maybe even, in his early 70s. Like he still wears the wig every night. Or Kiss, who has to go out
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
makeup. Like you have to be a little bit careful that suddenly like you don't have to be the hawk. You don't have to have that.
Yes. 100%. I think I'm lucky in the way that Hawk's character is so far-fetched that there's this kid who gets a mohawk and just starts beating the shit out of everyone. You do really have to suspend your disbelief for it. That I mean, hey, I don't know. Hawk definitely is a part of the symbolism for Cobra Kai. I mean, just the silhouette alone has become, in my mind, just a cool, iconic part of Cobra Kai. But
Mhm.
I don't know. It's separate enough from me that I don't feel that Hawk is too attached to me personally. Um, but I mean, hey, who knows? There could be, you know, 2 years from now, they're bringing us back for a spinoff. I'm like, well, I guess I'm wearing a Hawk again.
Now you're in that interesting spot, right? You've just done 6 seasons, and now you're being sent out into the wild,
Back into the world, yeah.
back into the world. Like I have like Maya Hawks on here quite a bit, and
Oh yeah.
we of course we're talking about the end of Stranger. She's going through the same
Mhm.
thing, and she's talking about that excitement and that anxiety at the same time. that you kind of hold? Like, what is this feeling? Like, I know there's the how do you feel about it wrapping up, but more so, like,
Yeah.
what's his feeling about who you get to be now?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's a great question. They're definitely, I think for any actor, regardless of how long the show has gone on for, 10,000% you have that. This could be it. I had a good run. I did X amount of episodes or seasons or movies or whatever. Um, and my dad is totally on the train of, you got to have positive thinking. You got to ice bath and sauna and, take care of yourself. And, he's one of those guys. And so I definitely try to have a positive spin on it and, just work as hard as I can, do the right prep for when I get auditions. I've been getting into directing, trying to direct a short film this fall, writing with Sholo and Gianni. So there's there's one side of it where you do get anxious and you don't know if you're ever gonna work again because everyone in the industry hates you. But I have to remind myself, hey, you know what? I've booked a couple roles. I have to believe that I am a good actor. I have something to offer. You know, I love Denzel Washington so much, and he has a quote, I'm pretty sure it's him, where he says, if you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get your hair cut.
Mhm.
I think that's super true for this industry. Um, Billy auditioned for The Outsiders. You know, he didn't get The Outsiders, and he gets, but he did Karate Kid. And there's certain things like that, that, hey, maybe you don't work for a year or two, 5 years, but you just have to trust that, hey, you're creative. That's just kind of how this business works. And, whether you book something next year, you book something years after, I don't know. It is hard though. It is a big test of almost your faith in a way and your faith
Right.
in how you do things. I don't know. There is a lot of anxiety that comes with it though, for sure.
Yeah. So what does that mean for you then? I mean, you've mentioned three things that you've booked some things you want to direct and you're directing and writing.
Yeah.
Like that is, I mean, for anybody in this industry, you have to have that mindset, I think, if you want to stick around. Like you sort of have to be able to tackle everything if you need to. Like,
Yeah.
are there any of those that you've sort of got your eye on a little bit more than the other that you've fallen in love with a little bit more?
I think as of right now, directing, I really like the workflow of directing and the almost the lifestyle that it brings and it's gonna sound lame, but the control I guess you have over a narrative.
Mhm.
Um, and I've only done things where I've acted and directed, and I would like to switch into or try something where I'm just directing and not acting in. Um, yeah, I think I try to pile on things in my plate if I'm not working right at the moment because I start to go crazy. I'm pretty bad at sitting still. Like going on vacation or with my family, I have to tell myself, okay, vacationing is my job right now. I have to I need to have a schedule. Like I'm gonna go surfing in the morning and then do this and then do that. Because just sitting, relaxing, I'm like,
I can't do it. I
I
get it.
can't.
I can't do it.
It's yeah.
Yeah, I went to my wife and I went to Mexico in February.
Okay.
She had to talk
Yeah.
me into going to Mexico. She had to talk me in to going to the beach in Mexico to Tulum,
Yeah.
And I made a deal with her that if I get to work at least an hour and a half every day, then I'm hers for the rest of it. Like
For
I just
sure. Yeah,
need,
I mean, I imagine for you too, you have like a pretty regimented schedule. I mean, you're releasing episodes out
yeah.
constantly. You're like, hey, I need to do something.
I was on the beach listening to the Black Crows to get ready for an interview. It was, it's a weird, yeah. I get it though. Like I feel you. I need that sort of thing happening. Like they're just sitting around and not get at it.
Dude, the Black Crows. I love the Black Crows. That's sick.
It's a fun interview too. At least it
Yeah,
worked out. And it was all
it's
sort of had a beachy vibe to it. I don't know.
it's awesome.
Can you say anything about the short film, or are you kind of keeping that still under wrap?
Um, I'm keeping it under wraps for
You just made that
now.
decision just now, didn't you?
Yeah, so I haven't talked about it too much. I'm in pre-production right now. I'm trying to film it in my hometown of Claremont. So it's at some of the colleges here. So it's college short film, um, little alien monster short film. You never see the monster for creative and budgetary reasons.
Smart
Um,
choice, right?
Smart, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it should be fun. It's not crazy long. It's maybe like 10, 15 minutes. Just trying to make it with some friends. Um, yeah, that's all I'll say for now.
Yeah, no, I got you. Now for
I'll let you
you,
know. I'll let you know once it comes out. I'll shoot it to you, and you give me your notes. I
I'm
want
sure you don't need notes, but I would love to see it.
yeah, I want you to give a pass and notes on it.
Uh-huh. That's what
Yeah,
you all that's what you need. More notes from just anybody.
anyone and everyone, exactly. That's what I want. Come on,
Now,
lend
do you
me.
think of this though, like I have like the friends who like do short films, like some of them, especially when they're switching to director like this, like they have it in mind, like I want to do a short film to use as a calling card to get more like directing gigs or stuff like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 100%.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
I also have the ones that just like I just did it because I've never done it, you know?
yeah, yeah. That's I mean, dude, both of those are super valid. I definitely want to um sort of start pursuing a career in directing, but I have this maybe stubborn way of doing it where I don't want my acting career to influence it at all. Like I want to direct because I'm a good director, not and you know what? I think there's totally a world where you direct something, you're like, you know what, that was kind of shit. But I learned from mistakes and I'm gonna tackle it again. And I've always wanted to do stand up, but I've never had the balls to truly do it. All of my friends who are comics, they just have this thing where like, the first time you do it, fucking suck. Or and that's just a part of the game. And I think in anything that's sort of similar, especially with these creative arts type things, you kind of have to suck before you rock.
Mhm.
Uh,
You got to be obsessed a little bit, like whatever it is. Like I think a lot of us like we're here because we're just kind of obsessed with it, you know. And
yeah, 100%. You have a weird thing in your brain you can't turn off, something that keeps talking. It's like, dude, do that. You should like that would be fun to do.
right.
And I've been having that. I was on a Disney show called Kirby Buckets and when I was 13, 14, I would have run around with this little notebook just bugging all the directors of the week and our DP who Matthew Rudenberg, who's this, very brainy, talented DP. And I was just this little kid on his shoulders, be like, why is the white balance right there? Why are you using an 85 right here? Like, just asking him all these questions and, try to learn about cameras without actually having to read anything. I just wanted him to share all of his secrets. And I've always been super interested in that and in the technical aspect and the creative directing aspect. So yeah, we'll see. I've directed one short before that was super fun. I'm just sort of recycling old ideas that I've had since high school and just trying to make them into shorts to pitch for other features for everybody's got grand plans, everybody's got goals. I'm sort of working up the balls to start really going after mine, I guess.
That's awesome. But now you've got that opportunity, you know, and
I'm trying. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, that's great. And in the meantime, you know, as we were saying, you know, like we've still got two more of these for us. Like you know how this ends. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the screeners yet on two and three yet. So
Yeah. You're not done yet, if that makes you feel any better. I just did ADR for like 9 and 10 like 2 days ago. So
oh wow. So no, it's not even actually rap. It's, you know.
yeah, I mean we filmed everything, but they're still in post for all that stuff.
Yeah.
Billy's trying to lock the music for his episode right now. He has awesome music for his episode that they're trying to nail down that I hope they get the budget for.
Oh man. I was
Yeah.
actually I wrote some of them, I always write them down. Because that first part had REO Speedwagon roll with the changes, which was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Headhunter, Stay Young at Heart. I didn't expect that one. Like it did so well at playing on this, you know, because we also get the flashbacks and everything, and when the music plays into it at the same
Yeah.
time, like
Yeah.
it's really yeah.
It's fun. I mean, you gotta love the 80s. They,
Hmm.
they they do a great job of picking good 80s soundtrack stuff.
Do you ever consider a theme song for Hawk?
Oh man, I think when Hawk was in his evil stage, I listened to a lot of Deftones,
Mm,
um, Shove It specifically. I think
one of the
just
greatest of all time. Yeah.
yeah, the Deftones rock, you know. I think now before I go on to set, a lot of times I listen to Fool in the Rain by Led Zeppelin. It's just super groovy and puts you in a good mood.
Very
Uh,
different mood to say. Yeah.
yeah, very, very different mood. Um, that's sort of what I'd say is the change that Hawk made was, going from Deftones, Shove It to Fool in the Rain. That's sort of the arc that I see for him.
From Zeppelin. I was
Yeah.
I know there's this other weird thing out there because the movie that's that's happening separate of
Yeah.
you all that doesn't seem to be, as they say, in the universe, which I'm gonna
Yeah.
say it kind of sucks
Yeah.
because because you all have done so many flashbacks to the older movies tying them in. It's like suddenly
Yeah.
you're nuts. Like that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
It's weird. Yeah, you know what's funny is I never know who decides what's in the universe too.
Right.
Like I don't know who said it's not in the universe, but it's known that like it's a separate universe, which you know how much people love the Marvel multiverse shit.
Right.
So I can only imagine. I don't know. I think I talked to Ralph, Mr. Macchio, when the movie wrapped, and he said he had a blast on it, and you know even for me personally, I think even if I wasn't a part of Cobra Kai, I definitely would be a fan of it. This is totally a show I would watch in my own time. And
Mm.
I love Jackie Chan so much. And I think other Cobra Kai fans either know of Jackie Chan or love that Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie. Um, I don't know. I think it's going to be great. It is so weird. It does take away from it a little bit that they're not in the exact same universe. But you know what? Who cares? The movie could just come out and be like, we're inserting ourselves into the universe. This is canon. So they got Daniel LaRusso in it.
Yeah,
Clearly,
that's what I'm
aren't
saying.
they?
I mean, somebody can just tie it some way. There'll be a thread, there'll be a
Yeah,
board with a red string and everything, and this is
I
how it all
mean,
works.
who knows? You totally could see Hawk walking around in the background in New
See, that's all
York.
I need. That's it. That's it.
And
That's
that's it.
and
That's
then it
all you
ends.
would need. That's all you would need to tie it together.
It's sort of like, you know, uh, Friends, Mad About You, and Seinfeld are in the same universe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's the Cheers bar is somewhere close to the Seinfeld apartment. You know what
Well,
I mean?
they had all the like they would have like that. They would have a character sort of walk in the
Yeah.
beginning of an episode, and then that's it. That's it. Like that's really all you have to do.
Yes.
Don't mess with us.
I mean, hey, I'm not saying I don't have a cameo, but I'm also not saying that I do have a cameo. We'll see. The universes could be tied. Who knows?
We'll see.
No, I genuinely have no idea. I don't want to get people's hopes up.
I'm looking forward to seeing these other two parts of this final season. I'm really looking forward to screening the short film that you've got coming up as well. I'm just putting it on my calendar here to
All
check back
right.
in
Yeah,
momentarily.
you gotta hit. I gotta get your number or your Instagram or something so I can send it to you. I'm waiting for your round of notes, man. I'm telling you.
I know you are. Man, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about all this, and congrats again.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much. It was I had a fun time. This is awesome. It's cool to
Yeah.
know you're a Black Crows fan.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.